Today, we are going to discuss 11th Standard English, Unit 3, Forgetting by Robert Lynn. Students, have you ever thought how forgetful you are? Actually, we are all forgetful. We are affected by forgetfulness and only the degree of impact varies, right? Though we are all forgetful at times, it is quite interesting to recall those instances without forgetting. Am I right? Okay. Now, can you tell what are the things you forget while coming to school and while leaving the school? What? Water bottle, okay, lunch box, then pen, what? All ticket. Okay. So many things you forget. Right? Okay. So we are all forgetful at times and we keep trying to improve our memory. This lesson, Forgetting, is an interesting and humorous essay by Robert Wilson Lynn. Before going to the lesson, let us see a few information about our author Robert Lynn. His period is from 1879 to 1949. He is an Irish writer and one of the best English essayists of 20th century. Students, you know that he started his career as a journalist and wrote under the pseudonym Wise. Y.Y. What is pseudonym? Pen name. Instead of his real name, the writer uses another name that is known as pseudonym. His essays usually covers a wide range of simple and interesting topics. Our lesson, Forgetting, is an interesting and humorous essay which looks at the nature, reasons, and effects of forgetfulness. Students, before going to discuss the lesson in detail, let us learn some new words which will help you to understand the lesson better.
Antipathy, strong dislike. Antipathy means strong dislike. My friend shows a deep antipathy towards junk food. Then, reluctant, meaning unwilling. He is reluctant to attend the meeting. Delinquent, a young person who is regularly involving in wrongdoing. He has been delinquent in submitting his assignments. Prosaic, dull. I have a few prosaic tables in my house. Audacious, bold and daring. The team captain showed his audacious behavior towards the end of the game. Then, eccentric, meaning act strangely. I was surprised to see your eccentric behavior. Indignant, very angry. I wrote an indignant letter to the company. Curing, trembling. The dog was curing with fear. Next word is exceptional, meaning extraordinary. He has exceptional powers of memory. Seldom, meaning rarely. My mother seldom goes to shopping. Vexation, irritation. He left the meeting with irritation. Anticipate, expecting. I anticipate your fullest cooperation. Students, have you understood the words, meaning? Now, let us discuss what the author expresses in the lesson. He begins his essay like this. A list of articles lost by railway travelers and now on sale at a great London station has been published, and many people who read it have been astonished, surprised at the absent-mindedness of their fellows. If statistical records were available on the subject, however, I doubt whether it would be found that absent-mindedness is common. It is the efficiency, ability, rather than the inefficiency of human memory that compels my wonder. Modern man remembers even telephone numbers. He remembers the addresses of his friends. The author says that a great London station, that is a railway station, has published a list of articles lost by the travelers due to their forgetfulness. In our school also we have lost and found notice board, right? Now, the author got a doubt whether the absent-mindedness, forgetfulness is common to all or not. Though he had a doubt on forgetfulness, he wonders at the efficiency, ability, rather than the inefficiency of the human memory. And he says that a person remembers even telephone numbers and addresses of his friends, appointment for lunch and dinner, the name of actors and actresses, cricketers and footballers, name of the hotel where he had bad food. Actually, modern man remembers almost everything that he is expected to remember. Students, we too remember many things, right? Our memory is crowded with the names of actors, actresses, and cricket players, right? Robert Lind says that no one forgets single item of their clothing while dressing in the morning, closing the front door when leaving the house, turning off the lights before going to the upstairs. These are the few things that a man remembers easily. But in some matters, our memory works less than its usual perfection. For example, taking medicines. Most people forget to take medicines which the doctor has prescribed. This is really surprising the author. He says that medicine should be one of the easiest things to remember because it is to be taken before or after the meal, and we can keep the meal as the reminder for medicines. Why do we forget to take medicine? Certain psychologists tell us that we forget things because we wish to forget them. We forget things because we wish to forget them. So, we forget to take medicine because of our strong dislike, antipathy to medicine. Lind says that this does not explain, however, how it is that a lifelong devotee of medicines like myself is as forgetful of them as those who take them most unwillingly. The very prospect of a new and widely advertised cure-all delights me. Yet, even if I have the stuff in my packets, I forget about it as soon as the hour approaches at which I ought to swallow it. Chemists make their fortunes out of the medicines people forget to take. Thus, the author accepts that people forget to take medicine because they are not willing to take medicine. People forget to take medicine because they wish to forget them. And he says that chemists make their fortunes, huge sum of money, out of the medicines people forget to take. Next, he says that if anyone asks him to post a letter, he forgets to post it, and the letter remains in his packet for many days. What is the reason for this? Lind says like that. This, it might be thought, must be due to a lack of interest in other people's letters. But that cannot be the explanation, for I forgot to post some even of the few letters that I myself remember to write. So, the author says that this must be due to a lack of interest in other people's letter. However, sometimes he forgets to post his own letters too. Walking sticks and books are the other things which he often forgets while traveling. Next, the author talks about people who have poor memories. He says like that, few of us, however, have lost much property on our travels through forgetfulness. The ordinary man arrives at his destination with all his bags and trunks safe. The list of articles lost in trains during the year suggests that it is the young rather than the adult who forget things, and that sportsmen have worse memories than their ordinary serious-minded fellows. A considerable number of footballs and cricket bats, for instance, were forgotten. This is easy to understand, for boys returning from the games have their imaginations still filled with the vision of the playing field, and their heads are among the stars, or their hearts in their boots, as they recall their exploits or their errors. They are abstracted from the world outside them. Memories prevent them remembering to do such small, prosaic things, dull things, as take the ball or the bat with them when they leave the train. According to the author, sportsmen have poor memory that they forget their footballs and cricket bats while returning from games. This is because their imagination is still filled with the vision of playground. Thus, he calls the sportsmen as the citizens of dreamland. Anglers, fishermen, and poets are the other people who forget things very often because they fill their mind with more glorious thoughts. Here, he states that the great philosopher Socrates and great poet S.T. Coleridge are absent-minded people. Then he narrates a humorous incident of a father. He says like that, I have heard of a father who, having offered to take the baby out in a perambulator, pram, a small carriage for baby, was tempted by the sunny morning to pass on his journey and slip into a public house for a glass of beer. Leaving the pram outside, he disappeared through the door of the saloon bar. A little later, his wife had to do some shopping, which took her past the public house, where to her horror, she discovered her sleeping baby. Indignant at her husband's behavior, she decided to teach him a lesson. She wheeled away the pram, picturing to herself his terror when he would come out and find the baby gone. She arrived home anticipating with angry relish the white face and quivering lips that would soon appear with the news that the baby had been stolen. What was her vexation? However, when just before lunch her husband came in smiling cheerfully and asking, "Well, my dear, what's for lunch today?" having forgotten all about the baby. Students, actually what happens? The husband took his baby out in a perambulator, pram, small four-wheeled carriage for a baby, and stopped before a public house to have a glass of beer and came home completely forgetting his baby. At the same time, his wife happened to cross the public house and brought the baby back to home. At home, she decided to teach him a great lesson. He would have lost his child due to his forgetfulness, right? But what happened? He had no guilt and remained cheerful because he had completely forgotten all about his baby and the pram. With this, we come to the conclusion of the essay, Forgetting. Students, have you understood the lesson? Just we have briefly discussed the lesson. Now, let us see the gist of the lesson. Forgetting is a humorous essay by Robert Lind. He discusses the various types of forgetting and analyzes the reasons behind forgetfulness. He also deals with the efficiency of the human memory and discusses why human memory works less efficiently in certain contexts. He also speaks about the things humans usually do not forget and that they commonly forget. Forgetfulness is a form of freedom sometimes. Good students, we have seen the gist of the lesson. Now, based on your understanding of the essay, try to answer the following questions. First question. What does Lind actually wonder at? I'll give you a clue. Efficiency or inefficiency? Good. Lind wonders at the efficiency rather than the inefficiency of human memory. Next question. Can you name a few things that a person remembers easily? Telephone numbers, addresses of his friends, and appointment for lunch and dinner, names of actors and actresses. Okay. These are the few things that a person remembers easily, right? Next question. How do psychologists interpret forgetfulness? Psychologists tell us that we forget things because we wish to forget. We forget things because we wish to forget, right? Next, what is the commonest type of forgetfulness according to Lind? According to Lind, the commonest form of forgetfulness in the matter of posting letters. According to Lind, the commonest form of forgetfulness occurs in the matter of posting letters. Next question. What does the author mean when he says that the letter in his packet leads an unadventurous life. The author usually forgets to post the letters given to him. If nobody questions him about it, then the letter lies in his packet without any disturbance. Once somebody asks him about the unposted letter, then it takes significance. So, the author says the letter in his packet leads an unadventurous life. Okay? What are the articles the writer forgets most often? The writer, Robert Lind, often forgets books and walking sticks. Next question. How do the chemists make fortunes out of the medicines people forget to take? Medicines ought to be taken regularly. Even if we skip one dosage, the effect of the medicine will be lost. Most people forget to take the medicines regularly, and many chemists make their huge sum of money out of this. People have to repeat the courses of medicine again. Thus, the chemists make fortunes out of the medicines people forget to take. The list of articles lost in trains suggests that sportsmen have worse memories than their ordinary serious-minded fellows. Why does Lind say this? Lind feels that sportsmen are filled with imaginations and visions of the playing field. They always think about their exploits, about their errors. They are totally cut off from the world outside, and so they tend to forget ordinary things. Students, we have discussed a few questions, right? Now we try to sum up the lesson using the answers of these questions. Okay? Forgetting is a humorous essay by Robert Lind. He wonders at the efficiency of the human memory. Telephone numbers, addresses of his friends, and appointment for lunch and dinner are a few things that a person remembers easily. The human memory works with less than its usual capacity when it has to take the medicine the doctor has prescribed. According to Lind, taking medicines should be one of the easiest actions to remember because it is to be taken before or after the meal, and we can keep the meal as the reminder for medicine. Psychologists tell us that we forget things because we wish to forget. Sportsmen are citizens of dreamland. They are called so because they live in an imaginative world. The anglers and the poets are both absent-minded. The angler and the poet are both absent-minded because their mind is filled with more glorious thoughts. A baby was taken out by its father on a perambulator. The father stopped to have a glass of beer in a public house and came home forgetting the baby altogether. The mother, who happened to pass the public house, saw the baby and brought it back home. The man could have lost his child because of his forgetfulness. Forgetfulness is a form of freedom sometimes. Students, have you understood the summary of the lesson? If you write the above points in an orderly manner, you will get the summary of this lesson, and I am sure that you will be able to answer the paragraph questions also. Before the discussion of the lesson, we have learned the meanings of some words, right? Now, we try to learn antonyms of some words which are used in the lesson. This exercise is there in your textbook. Find the antonyms of the following words in the puzzle. The first word is seldom. Antonym is often. Admitted. What is the antonym? Denied. Methodical. Disorderly. Reality. The antonym is fantasy. Virtue. Wife. While. Good. Indignant. Delighted. Release. Hate. Fact. The opposite is fiction.
Students, hope you understood the lesson. Every day, learn something new that will take closer to the better tomorrow. With this, I wind up this session. Thank you.